Hello, students. I welcome you all again on this platform of Degree 3 English Honors. Today, let me discuss something about Wordsworth theory of poetic diction. What is Wordsworth theory of poetic diction? Wordsworth theory of poetic diction is prescribed in fifth paper of BA Part 3 English Honors. So let me dwell a little about what is Wordsworth theory of poetic diction. We have to understand Wordsworth theory of diction first of all for understanding and appreciating Coleridge's comment on it. Wordsworth found out that some poets of his time were not using diction rightly or properly. These poets were using, no doubt, apparently grand, beautiful, and high sounding words, but those words were not supposed supported by adequate feeling and emotion. Wordsworth rightly opines that words or diction in want of feeling and passion are born to become lifeless and artificial. A poet, without being himself excited or moved by a particular circumstance, event, or experience, can't produce real or forceful poetry. Wordsworth says that a poet should use in his poetry the language as spoken by the common people, especially the rustics. As the life of the rustics is simple and natural, the language and speech spoken by them is simple and forceful. The villagers have not in their lives any kind of duplicity or artificiality. They don't work or live under any kind of restriction, binding, and tension. Besides, they lead their life remaining in constant touch with the beautiful surroundings of nature. So, as Wordsworth adds, they are in the position of using and speaking a very good and powerful language and diction. The spoken language of the rustics, according to Wordsworth, should be copied, used, or utilized by a poet in poetry. The use of such language, words, or diction is supposed to infuse a kind of vitality in poetry. Coleridge, in his essay on Wordsworth's diction, is all praise for Wordsworth's ideas. He too, like Wordsworth, emphasizes on the value and significance of emotion in poetry. But Coleridge, at the same time, is very much critical of some ideas of Wordsworth. He refutes, contradicts, or strongly criticizes what he finds wrong or weak in Wordsworth's essay. Coleridge writes that it is wrong to say, as Wordsworth says, that rustics are in a better position to use and speak befitting words and forceful diction, simply because they are in constant touch with the beauties of nature. Simply living in the natural, beautiful surroundings can't endue upon a rustic a capacity for better language and diction. For better language and diction, some more things like education, sensibility, and training are required. A man, whether rustic or urban, is in a position to use and appropriate and good language through his born sensibility and by acquired training and education. It is true that the life of the rustics is more or less free from social vanity, artificiality, and psychological complexes. But this fact alone can't guarantee better language and diction. Rustics, according to Coleridge, have imperfect development of their faculty, that means mind. They have a scanty experience and they are more burdened with traditional beliefs. So, a villager or a rustic has more limitations and disadvantages than advantages. So far, the use of better language and diction is concerned. Facts are taken in a very common way by the rustics, but they are taken in a deeper way by an educated man and are expressed in a richer language. The fund of vocabulary or diction of an uneducated rustic is scanty or insufficient. The brutes or the tribes of some hilly areas passes only the capacity possess only the capacity to produce some sound. By sound alone, the brutes or the rustics talk or convey to one another regarding basic necessities of life like food, shelter, and safety. But the aggregate 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 of such sounds made by them can't be called a language. The best part of human language, says Coleridge, is derived through reflective mind, but the rustics are mentally undeveloped and backward. Good language and diction are the products of educated and imaginative mind and sensibility. As the rustics are wanting in such things, they are not in a position of forming or speaking a good diction. Wordsworth talks of passion and excitement. The rustics have passion and excitement, but they have not the ability to express these in better language. They can show it in their violent actions. The uneducated can use unmeaning repetitions, habitual phrases, and blank counters. The language used by an uneducated and the rustics is marked by disjunction and separation. The rustics lack in prospectiveness of the mind and the power of survive, which enables a man to foresee the whole of what he has to express. Thus, we find that Coleridge criticizes what he finds wrong or illogical in Wordsworth's theory of diction and poetics, and he also dwells about the Wordsworth theory of poetic diction. Okay, guys, that's all for now. We shall meet you again in your next class. Till then, goodbye and have a nice day.